Hello everyone. Here I'm taking second chapter of your book Honeydew of class 8th, The Tsunami. In this session, I'll explain the whole chapter line by line, and I will give you the meaning of new words, difficult words. First, we'll talk about the heading, the title of this chapter, The Tsunami. What tsunami is. Dear students, tsunami is a natural calamity that causes huge destruction and loss of life and property as well. Alongside the story of deep sorrow are reassuring details of courage, survival, and resilience. This story gives a message to us all that we should realize the importance of doing whatever possible to save human and animal life, to participate in relief work, and to understand the concept of disaster management. One should show acts of courage, care, and compassion in the bitter struggle of survival and rehabilitation. So, dear students, now here we go for the explanation. Let's see what is there in the chapter. A tsunami is a very large and powerful wave caused by earthquakes under the sea. On 26 December 2004, a tsunami hit Thailand and parts of India such as Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Tamil Nadu coast. Here are some stories of courage and survival. Did animals sense that a tsunami was coming? Some stories suggest that they did. So, dear students, tsunami refers to a very large and powerful wave in the sea. It is caused by some earthquake under the sea. One such calamity hit several countries on December 26, 2004. The worst affected parts were coastal part of India, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and Thailand. Some 150,000 people lost their lives. But animals suffered very few casualties. Perhaps they had sensed the coming earthquake and they ran to safer high places. We'll come to know what was the reason. How did animals sense that a tsunami was coming? Do they possess acute hearing or anything else? Or, as people say that they possess sixth sense. So we'll come to know all this later in this chapter. In this particular chapter, this lesson recounts a few stories of bravery and intelligence when tsunami hit the Andamans. So let's see what is here in the first story. The first story is, these stories are all from the Andaman and Nicobar archipelago. I'll tell you the meaning of all the difficult words. First, I'm going to read the whole content, and after that, I will give you the meaning of new words, difficult words. Ignatius was the manager of a cooperative society in Kachal. His wife woke him up at 6 a.m. because she felt an earthquake. Ignatius carefully took his television set off its table and put it down on the ground so that it would not fall and break. Then the family rushed out of the house. When the tremors stopped, they saw the sea rising. In the chaos and confusion, two of his children caught hold of the hands of their mother's father and mother's brother and rushed in the opposite direction. He never saw them again. His wife was also swept away. Only the three other children who came with him were saved. So first I tell you some new words and their meaning. Tsunami, as you all know, it's a powerful wave caused by earthquake under the sea. Hit means struck. Survival means life saving. And the next term is archipelago. Archipelago means a group of islands. Sets off, as you know, move down from its place. Put down means place. Tremors, the new word tremors. Tremors means jerks. Chaos is disorder. And swept away, gone with the water, washed away. So let's see what is here. First story is about manager. Ignatius was his name. Ignatius, he was a manager of a cooperative society. He was woken up by his wife at 6 a.m. because his wife felt some tremors, some jerks. So, what did he do at first? Because his wife felt an earthquake, so Ignatius, he did this thing the first. He carefully took off his television set off its table and put it down so that it cannot break, and on the ground so that it will not fall and break. Then the family rushed out of the house. When the tremors stopped, when the jerks stopped, they saw the sea rising. The water level in the sea, it was rising in the chaos and confusion, because no one was sure what was happening. So they all were getting panic. They all were confused. Two of his children, they caught hold of the hand of their mother's father and mother's brother. Mother's father, you can say, we call him Nana, and mother's brother Mama, and rushed in the opposite direction. And they both they rushed in opposite direction. One went right way and the left way, you may say. He never saw them again. His wife was also swept away, but he could not see both of his children and his wife as well. His wife also swept away. Only the three other children who came up with him were saved. Anyhow, he managed to save himself and two other children. Now, the next is about someone else. Sanjeev was a policeman serving in the Kachal island of the Nicobar group of islands. He somehow managed to save himself, his wife and his baby daughter from the waves, but then he heard cries for help from the wife of John, the guest house cook. Sanjeev jumped into the water to rescue her, but they were both swept away. Here the word rescue means to help save someone. The next story, Sanjeev was a policeman. He managed to save himself, his wife and daughter from the waves anyhow. But soon he heard cries from the help from the wife of John. John was the guest house cook. So he jumped into water to rescue her, to save her, but both were swept away. Yeah, initially he saved himself and rest of the people of his family, but that time when he heard cries from others, from the wife of John, he went to help her, and unfortunately they both were swept away. 13-year-old Meghna was swept away along with her parents and 77 other people. She spent 2 days floating in the sea, holding on to a wooden door. As you know, wood, it floats on water. So anyhow, she managed to hold a wooden door, and she spent 2 days floating in the sea. 11 times she saw relief helicopters overhead, but they did not see her because relief helicopters, they were far from her and they could not see her. She was brought to the shore by a wave and was found walking on the seashore in a daze. So from this story, earlier story, Sanju, he initially saved himself, but finally what happened? He was swept away. Here Meghna, 13-year-old girl Meghna, she was swept away along with her parents and others, but anyhow she managed to save her. How did she save? Because she got hold of a wooden door and she kept floating on water. But yes, she saw a helicopter several times, but they could not see her. Anyhow, she was brought to the shore by a wave and she was saved. Now the next one is Almas Javed was 10 years old. She was a student of Carmel Convent in Port Blair, where her father had a petrol pump. Her mother Rahila's home was in Non-Kauri Island. The family had gone there to celebrate Christmas. Alvas Jamed, the story is about one more girl, Alvas Jamed. She was 10 years old and her father had a petrol pump. All the family members, they were gone to celebrate Christmas there. When the tremors came early in the morning, the family was sleeping. Alma's father saw the seawater recede. He understood that the water would come rushing back with great force. He woke everyone up and tried to rush them to safer place. Dear students, uh, see, when the tremors came early in the morning, the whole family was sleeping because it was very early in the morning. Alma's father, he saw the seawater recede. Recede means withdraw, flow back. So he understood that water would come rushing back with great force, and he woke everyone up and tried to rush them to a safer place because he understood, he got to know that something bad was going to happen. That's why he tried to rush them to a safer place. As they ran, her grandfather was hit on the head by something and he fell down. Her father rushed to help him. Then came the first giant wave that swept both of them away. You must have seen such videos. You must have witnessed calamity there. Kedarnath calamity. So you are well known to this. On YouTube or there are so many videos of tsunami. You go and watch them. You can understand the nature, the kind of destruction they make. So what happened when they rained? Her grandfather, he was hit on the head by something and he fell down, unfortunately. Her father went to help him, but anyhow uh, he could not. Then came the first giant wave and both of them swept away. Alma's mother and aunts stood clinging to the leaves of a coconut tree, calling out to her. A wave uprooted the tree and they too were washed away. Alma's mother and her aunt, they both stood clinging to the leaves of coconut tree in order, to save them, in order do not let the wave wash them. That's why they were clinging the leaves of coconut tree. But a wave uprooted the tree and they too were washed away. Alma saw a log of wood floating and she climbed onto it. Then she fainted. When she woke up, she was in a hospital in Kamorta, where from there she was brought to Port Blair. Almost anyhow, how did she save herself? She saw a log of wood floating in the water and she climbed onto it. Then she got fainted there. When she woke up, she was in the hospital. Somebody who found her admitted her into the hospital in Kamorta. From there, she was brought to Port Blair. The little girl doesn't want to talk about the incident with anyone. She is still traumatized. That little girl, she was shocked. She had never seen such things before. Traumatized means shocked or distressed. When people came to her to talk about what happened, how did she manage to save her, the little girl, she doesn't want to talk about that incident with anyone, because in that incident she lost rest of the people of her family, and she is still shocked. She was still distressed. So dear student, this was the first part. In the next session, I'll take the next part, the rest part of this chapter. Hope you liked it. Thank you for watching.